you know, for, I don't know, at least 6 months, I've been hearing, Matt, you got to be on Rumble Chat. You got to be on Rumble Chat. Get on Rumble Chat. So I get on Rumble Chat, and all I get is a ration of shit for being on Rumble Chat. And by the way, just a heads up, just to show you what I brought in, my Rumble peeps. Oh, Rumble Chat in the main window. But you know what? Some people have to ruin it. So Deborah, sorry about that. You're to blame. So everyone, sick Deborah. Thanks. Appreciate it. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Giving our Rumble people a little bit of shit. I now have the ability to see chat. I was getting that set up. That's why I'm late. I think it's worth 5 minutes, but we're here. Deborah, we're just messing around. I think Deborah has a good sense of humor. We're going to find out. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We are live. Facebook, we are getting our notification right now. We will have Rumble Chat on tonight, and I think we could probably have it in the future. Hopefully. Deborah says, is Matt going to send me to the corner? No, I'll just suspend you because I have all these cool tools that I had no idea. Yeah, I can see Rumble Chat now. So, and I'm working on seeing Wimkin too. I just need to write a program for that, but we're getting it fixed. We're starting to get things dialed in. Got some good news for the show. You guys can see what we're covering tonight, but we've also, let's see, we got Ryan Weaver coming back in July. Excited, got that news today. He'll be here. We are getting Damani Felder on May 9th or around then. And it looks like the 5-hour show for the fundraiser is probably going to be around the 19th or the 26th, one of the two. And we've got some other shows booked too. We've got an author coming who wrote about wokeism, and we have an actress who is a prominent veteran fundraiser who takes care of vets, and we've got a bunch of great stuff coming. We're starting to get people booked, and we're excited about it. But tonight will be a good show. We got a lot to talk about. We'll see you in about 3 minutes, everybody. Sorry for the delay. We will run overtime tonight, and our goal is 300. Let's hit it early, and we'll have a good show. We'll see you about 7:10. Be right back. Early comment of the night on Rumble. Hello there, the strangers from my nightmares, the shadows in the background of the morgue. Okay. Olivia said it was a little weird in here. I guess we're kicking it off right.
It's tired of being so confused. You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, start offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's
Hello everyone, good morning. Brandon from Still Point. Just wanted to give you guys an update on everything going on. Give a big hell yeah to Matt Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. The Barry Morgenstein photo shoot. There's Leroy. Look at him, looking great. Olivia looking stunning as always. Look at there, baby. Rocking the lid. Barry has done photo shoots with kings, presidents, the Pope, rock and roll royalty.
One Way to Freedom. I got the reference. I just was letting you know, man. We're already starting to cook. That's all. Very well done. Blink 182. Outstanding.
Jimi Hendrix. Come on now. It's so awesome that our music is finally catching on after all this time. And you know we're going to always keep on rocking in the free world, baby. Make sure you tune in to the Don't Unfriend Me show every weeknight at 7.
Olivia comes in with a sting. I'm sure Kevin remembers the Stone Age as well. Didn't you have a pet dinosaur growing up? You know, no disrespect to Kevin, Olivia. I think it's a little bit overboard, but you might want to ask him something a little bit simpler, given his age. What was it like playing baseball when the ball was square?
PM EST. The new stuff is dropping on all platforms very soon. We got it uploaded now, but we're getting on the Spotify playlist. You know how you have to do that. So be on the lookout for that. Go download it. Go support Still Point. And go support the Don't Unfriend Me show. Matt, Leroy, Olivia, Amy, we love you guys. Ethan, baby, we love you. And we will see you all soon. We're getting everything ready. And it's going to be badass. We'll see you on the stage soon. Keep on rocking in the free world.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
All right. If you have not been over to Rumble, we are over on Rumble. Facebook has been doing good with our regular videos. Surprisingly enough, we're actually crushing those pretty consistently now, which is exciting. But Rumble has been good to us. They don't pay on time, but you know that was a little bit of a mix-up. But I gotta say, I do enjoy Rumble. I was on it today, and I gave it a chance, and I hadn't been on in quite a while, and it's let it kind of wash over me. And it very much is a strong platform for video viewing, and it's excellent in its communication. So I'm all about it. We'll at least for the solo shows, run the Rumble chat up here for people so they can feel special and privileged. And, kind of we'll go from there, and we'll see how it goes. And if everything goes great, then we keep it. And if it doesn't, we get rid of it. But as for now, we have a Rumble chat up in the top corner. I don't think it'll be too distracting. If it gets there, we'll figure it out. Yeah, Brian says it was hard watching the show last night because there was so much dust in the air. Yeah, I had those dust issues as well. Before we get started, I want to play you guys a little song. I may get copyright hit for this because, go figure. But this is pretty good stuff. This is Donald Trump listing off the countries that have tariffs in song. You may remember the tune. Enjoy. Maybe not. Livia's not here. Of course I screwed it up. Of course. What's new? All right, here we go. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by Donald Trump. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, 2, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobacco, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam, Norway, and Sweden, and Iceland, and Finland, and Germany, now in one piece, Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey, and Greece, Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran. There, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Portugal, France, England, Denmark, and Spain. India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, and Borneo, and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana, Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi. The Spanish Sahara is gone. Nigeria, Chad, Liberia, Egypt, Benin, and Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, and Mali, Sierra Leone, and Algeria, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea, Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Majorca, and Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Great Mauritania, Pennsylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta, and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan.
Fantastic. Yeah, people have too much time on their hands. Yes, Rumble, you are on the screen. And you don't have to behave. There's no reason for it. So now I can see YouTube. I can see Twitter. I can see Facebook. I feel like I should do Romper Room. I can see Jenny. I can see Judy. I can see Kevin. I can see Deborah. And we can see Rumble now. The only one we can't see is Wimkin. And I'm working on that. I'm working on it. And all we got to do is figure out how to do pop-out chat, and I can see if he can do that. And then I can have all the chats up. So I will be checking Rumble chat all night. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show, folks. If you don't know how it works here at the Don't Unfriend Me Show, it's pretty simple. We are a local already. Kevster, welcome to Rumble chat, Mr. Spear. Love it. Thanks, Kev. Good to be here, buddy. Thanks for welcoming me to the Rumble chat. Starting out the night. Goal 300. We're at 2110 already because Kevin with a wonderful donation. We appreciate you, buddy. Got a good show tonight. We're covering a whole bunch of shtiff, and now would be a good time to get to it. I'm sure we're all chomping at the bit. What has been going on in the world today? Well, as usual, it's an eventful day for the liberals. I want to start off with something a little bit different than I usually start off with, which is, and I've done this now twice this week, and maybe this becomes a tradition, but I wanted to go into a podcast that, well, I guess I was going to do the SAVE Act first, right? Is that what I was going to do? Let me go look at my notes. SAVE Act. Oh, screw it. Let's go into the SAVE Act. All right, so liberals are melting down over the SAVE Act. Now, who knows what the SAVE Act is? If you don't know what the SAVE Act is, Safeguard American Voter Eligibility. Pretty simple. And what is it designed to do? Well, it's really not hard. Its entire premise is just to ensure that U.S. citizens vote. That's it. That's all. Nothing else. Nothing Machiavellian. It's pretty simple. Now, the liberals are going to tell you, oh, well, this thing is just dastardly, and it's going to destroy the world. Pinky in the Brain style. But it's not. Let me go ahead and move the chat, and then I can open this up for you, and we can go ahead and do this. That's not what we want to do. We want to do this. I'm new here, folks. Cut me some slack. I forgot to get to the window. I was trying to get this damn Rumble chat up, and I'm so excited that I did, but Lord, I'm kind of slipping here. Hold on. All right. And zoom out a little bit. Oh, bam. All right, let's go. So here it is. This is essentially a counter sheet when it comes to the SAVE Act and what the liberals are saying. They're saying it's going to stop women from voting, that 98 million women aren't going to be able to vote. And this is complete crap. Complete crap. Here are the arguments. Radical progressive Democrats took drastic steps to fundamentally remake America through open borders and a full-scale assault on election integrity laws. Representative Chip Roy created the SAVE Act, H.R. 22. It'll address this by requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote in federal elections to ensure the integrity of our elections. It amends the National Voter Registration Act, NAVARA, to require states to verify U.S. citizenship. Doesn't sound too bad, considering that 90% of Americans believe that we should validate and ensure that American citizens are voting. Once again, Democrats, the 80-20 rule, this is a 90-10 rule, are always on the wrong side of everything. And Donald Trump is taking them to task, of course, once again. Alex, can you call in? Sure. Yeah, just give me a few minutes, man. We'll get you on here. When you have a topic that you see that you like, let me know, and I'll see if we can get you on here. When registering an individual to vote in federal elections gives states the tools to remove non-citizens from their voter rolls. This is what Virginia did. This is what we saw Arizona do. And of course, Democrats flipped out. How dare you remove the illegals we let in from the voter registry laws? But illegals don't vote. But we're really upset you remove them. Well, why do they need to be on there? Well, that's not really important, I guess. Here's myth one. The SAVE Act would prohibit married women. Thank you, JD. Donated $18.90. Let's frickin' go. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. My good buddy friend. Buddy. Not like buddy, but if it got cold enough, buddy. The SAVE Act would prohibit married women or anyone who has changed their name from voting. That's the first thing we've heard today. Okay, the first thing. And it's fake news. Under the SAVE Act, those individuals who have updated their documentary proof of citizenship, which can include things like a real ID, passport, or government-issued identification with their place of birth, no action is needed, and they can register to vote. For the small fraction of individuals who have not yet updated their documentation to reflect a name change, which most do immediately for other life purposes, the SAVE Act explicitly directs states to establish a process for them to register to vote irrespective of those discrepancies, which means irregardless. Like other areas of the law, citizens will be able to use combinations of existing identification documents, like an I-9, certificates of birth from the state, and other documentation to demonstrate citizenship. No one will be left unable to register to vote due to a name change. That's lie number one, completely debunked. Bull crap. And not only are they telling you that it's debunked, but they're laying out how, right? They're telling you that every state's required to do A, B, C, and D, and you're going to have multiple forms of identification, whether it be military ID, a passport, a birth certificate, social security card. You'll probably have to have one from column A or B plus C. It's like an I-9. This isn't hard. Next myth. The SAVE Act would require everyone to have a U.S. passport to register to vote. It's a lie. I don't even need to go into it. There's no such declaration. The only time you need a U.S. passport is to travel internationally, unless you are on orders and military, or have private travel, and then whatever the restrictions are of those, that airport or that charter is up to them. The SAVE Act merely requires documentary proof of United States citizenship to register to vote. This is not just limited to passports, but can include real ID, and it's in use in all 50 states. Especially if you want to fly in the airport. A U.S. military ID card together with paperwork showing place of birth was in the United States, and any valid government-issued identification card issued by federal, state, or tribal government showing the applicant's place of birth was in the U.S. Wow, really hard. So difficult. Oh, it's like buying a house in Chinese. I don't know what I can do. But of course, the liberals, black people aren't smart enough to get an ID. And how incredibly racist is that to every other? You don't say that about Vietnamese people. You don't say it about Native Americans. You don't say it about the Mormons. But it's always black people. Oh, black people, it's so racist. Black people won't vote now. Really? How do black people drive a car? How do black people go and hunt? How do black people get into an 18-year-old movie? How do black people go ahead and apply for any type of government subsidies? How do they apply for a loan? How do they apply for a credit card? How do they apply for a job? How do they buy a pack of cigarettes or a beer, Colt 45? Joke. Oh, well, they probably provide an ID, but they can do all that, but they can't vote, huh? Interesting. Makes sense. That you wonder why you guys lost the election. Here's another one. The SAVE Act would require everyone to have, in federal elections, we have no evidence of illegals voting. This is the myth. And that's completely a lie. We've talked about this on the show. Although it's not enough to sway and overturn an election, or we wouldn't have won in 2024, it certainly has an impact on voting when it comes to state, local municipalities. And the reason why is because a lot of townships allow voting to be done for illegals in their town. There is ample evidence of non-U.S. citizens registering to vote. 2014 study of 2008 and 2010 elections found that non-citizens voted and likely impacted the outcome in several races. Virginia removed 1,481 voter registries for non-citizens. 2014, North Carolina conducted a study that found over 1,400 registered voters on its rolls appeared to be non-citizens. Numerous states and local jurisdictions are actively seeking to register non-citizens in their elections. One illegal ballot cast is one too many. That can impact the outcome of a tight election. Pretty simple. The SAVE Act is unnecessary because it's already illegal for non-citizens to vote. Well, then that's cool. Then we don't have to worry about gun confiscation and making new gun laws because there's already laws on the books to stop school shootings. So we can go ahead and stop the argument with Second Amendment. Thank you, SAVE Act, for contradicting every single thing that liberals say every day or every time that there's a shooting. So simple. If all you have to do is make a law, then now we know, wow, I wish we would have done that in the past. I wonder all the 37,000 pieces of legislation where the word gun is used, if we will remove those and strike those from the record right now, so maybe one day they can be heard on the floor. The truth is, while only U.S. citizens can legally vote in federal elections, the National Voter Registry effectively stops states from checking citizenship during registration. And remember, the census doesn't check citizenship. And look at California gaining seats because of all the illegals. So they inadvertently do have an impact on what happens to their representation. And the more seats that Democrats own, the more illegal access they'll have to come into our country. The more benefits they get, the more money we waste. So to sit here and pretend that it isn't impacting our country is ridiculous. Of course it is. Preventing the law from being enforced. The SAVE Act is needed to require states to verify U.S. citizenship when registering individuals to vote in federal elections. Give states the tools to remove non-citizens from their voter rolls and penalize officials that register non-citizens. Sounds pretty cut and dry to me. Federal government, because of the 10th Amendment, has to actually specifically state this, and it has to be applied in all the states because that's the law. Brenda Shepard donated $3. Test, this is only a test. It worked. Thank you, by the way. The SAVE Act will make it impossible for U.S. service members to vote if deployed abroad. Are you kidding me? You're kidding me. An absentee ballot is the easiest thing to obtain and send in. I did it 6 times. We had 2 runoff elections that I was able to mail in absentee. It's ridiculous. The bill does not amend the Uniformed Overseas Citizenship Absentee Voting Act, which is the UOCAVA. If you don't know what that is, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of initials and more acronyms in the military that we don't need. And leaves in place existing procedures and safeguards for service members abroad to vote absentee in federal elections. Pretty simple. The SAVE Act is unconstitutional and violates the principles of federalism. Oh, God. First of all, we're anti-federalists over here. So when you scream federalism, we're like, let's shoot the redcoats. Okay? We weren't Hamilton fans. We're the anti-federalists. We're the small government. Of course, that's basically just saying you guys are circumventing big government. How dare us? Well, we are conservatives. We kind of like to do that unless it's a spending bill, but that's a whole other. Wait a second, what? Is that the event? We got confirmation he's going to come on in the big event. Can we have sex right here, folks? We got to go. Good night. Have a wonderful. See ya.
Adjusting transmitter output.
No, we're just kidding. Wrong screen. We just got notification that our special guest who our special guest, like there was confusion because we told him there was an event and the fundraiser we were going to do. And he's like, listen, I don't know what I signed up for, but we need to talk to my event staff. And I'm not, I don't, and Olivia and I are like, oh my God, we fucked up. So I got on and I wrote a nice email and I'm like, dude, FNG moment. We're not used to dealing with people of your stature. All hail to you. And kind of just explained to him that this is just an event to have a bunch of guests on. So officially, we will announce right now that May 16th, Friday, starting at 6 o'clock at night till 11 p.m., we will be having our fundraiser for the new studio. And we're trying to hit the goal of $10,000. And our special guest, our VIP, our A-lister, who we thought was just going to come on and do an hour interview with us on some random night, said, oh, no, I'll show up. I'll be there. So, no, I'm not going to tell them. Screw them. I'm not going to tell them who it is. Olivia is excited. Okay. All right. Did you just wipe off your hand? No. Okay. I was like, what are you doing? All right. The SAVE Act is, so that's really good news. So there it is, May 16th, starting at 6 o'clock, 5 hours. I'm going to try to get Damani Felder here. Ryan Weaver can't make it. I just talked to Ryan. I'm like, dude, you got to come. And he's like, I can't. I'm touring. It's like, get your priorities straight. Hit us up on stage. He can't. But he'll be here in July. So that's great. We got a July booking. We got T.S. Dixon coming, an author who wrote a book on wokeism, was just on Newsmax and Fox News. We're going to get him on. That's going to be a great show. And then we've got an actress. I'm not going to release her name yet. This is a surprise. Who runs a huge Veterans Foundation. When you see her, you'll know her. And she's coming on. So we got a shit ton of stuff going on. So May 16th will be the $20,000 fundraiser. We're going to try to do this. I'll be giving away a flag from Don't Tread on Me, signed by Mark Oz Geist for the Don't Tread on Me. We're going to be giving away some other things, and we're also going to donate to this person's foundation. We have got some T-shirts to give away and some jackets, and we're going to try to make this a big time. So if you donate, you get entered into a raffle, and then we have a raffle. This will be via web. We got to get the studio built first. We have no place to put this person. So there's the news. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me get this last one so we can get the Rumble chat back up and start talking about other stuff. The election clause, the naturalized clause, and the 15th, 19th, 24th, and 26th amendments are in reference. So if you don't have your Don't Unfriend Me Constitution book, you can go buy it right now at thedumbshow.com right here. Open up and go to, like I just said, 15, 19, 24, and 26 amendments, and this is something you can follow along with. They clearly give Congress the authority to enact the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act is a narrow bill that simply strengthens the law that has governed the federal voter registration process for 30 years. The NVRA, by requiring states to verify citizenship for registration in federal elections. That's it. That's it. Somebody said, Gary said, guys, I'm not going to tell you. Even if you got it right, I'm not going to tell you. And I'm not going to give you any, I'm not going to give it up. It's just not going to happen. Everybody thinks they know. And I will tell you that even if you say it as often as you want and repeat it, it doesn't mean you're right. Okay, good. Glad we had this talk. SAVE Act, folks. Huge benefit for our country. Has officially passed. And now we hope it continues to move its way. Is Matt watching the Rumble chat tonight? Yes, Chaos Girl, I'm watching the Rumble chat tonight. In fact, you're watching it with me because it's me watching you, watching me, 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 watching you, and over and over and over. So yes, I'm watching chat. So that's it. That's it, folks. SAVE Act. It's actually a good piece of legislation. And if it wasn't for the fact that Donald Trump, has literally melted the Democrat Party down, they would be for this too. But they can't be because they can't agree with anything that Donald Trump does. They can't. We're going to talk about this derangement syndrome from these guys. We're going to have a conversation about it. Make sure that you all understand what's happening in the world. And we're going to move on to the next thing in just 1 second.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time, and we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
I think it was Jimmy C. Is that what it was? Oh, Jimmy, thank you for your donation. I believe that was the name. And you also said thank you for hitting up the Rumble chat. And show, yes, it's right here. We've got it up. And thank you for your comment. I love all your guesses. You guys, I don't know how you landed on this person, but that's okay. Keep guessing. Once again, if you have not had a chance, you can go to thedumbshow.com, buy some hats, buy some shirts. We've got great stuff over there. Coffee, books, everything else. Go take a look. And then also do me a favor, please, please, please go over to thedumbshow.com/donate. And if you have the opportunity, please donate to the show and make sure that we stay on, we stay free, and we stay relevant. Moving on to a next topic. Great time to buy. Okay. Now, this Farkin thing. Okay. Great time to buy. Donald Trump came out about 4 hours before the tariff kind of D-Day was going to take place, and he lifted the tariffs on 90% of the countries. And I told you what he was doing. He was doing what he always does, the art of the deal. He's coming in big, asking big, getting something that he wanted because he asked huge, right? If you go ahead and say, hey, man, I need you to eat that 800-pound water buffalo, and people are like, there's no way I can eat an 800-pound buffalo. Well, that's too bad. If you don't do it, you don't get fed for a year. And they're like, it's impossible. So he just let him be hungry for about 24 hours. And then he's like, now you have an 800-pound buffalo. What are you going to do? Well, can we talk about this? Can I maybe work on like 50 pounds or 25 pounds? No, you got to take all 800. And then lets them sit for 48 hours. And then finally they get their knife and their fork and their A1 steak sauce. And they're like, all right, we're going to do this. Let's, whatever it takes. We're going to get as close as we can to the 800. And Trump's like, you know what? I want you to eat 10 pounds. And that was his goal all along. So when you do that, you set the expectation. And who did he learn this from? He learned this from the Democrats. Because this is what the Democrats do. We want to spend $120 trillion on the Green New Deal. And everyone's like, are you fucking crazy? There's no way we're going to let you do that. There's no way we're going to let you spend $120 trillion. We will literally default on everything. Not a chance. Oh, okay, well, we're going to spend $10 trillion. And now you have Joe Biden. It's not too hard to understand. And Donald Trump now gets 10% increased tariffs. And everyone's like, oh, that's so fair. That's so good. Except for who? The Democrats. So what are they saying? Let's recap. On Friday, tariffs are the devil that are going to destroy the entire world. And God's going to come down and rain thunder. And the seas will boil. And the sun will eclipse on itself. And locusts will rain down. And the whole world, cats and dogs sleeping together, mass hysteria will take place. Stampeding the women and raping the cattle. It'll just be a nightmare. Then Monday, it was, he's going to bankrupt the economy. But before that, it was, he's trying to save all the money for billionaires and his rich friends. Then he's trying to bankrupt his rich friends. Then he crashes the stock market. We're going to go into the Great Depression. Oh my God, Dust Bowl 2.0. The whole world's going to end. Start stuffing your mattress with money. Then we had a rebound. Then what did they say? Look, he's doing it for his rich billionaire friends. Then today, it was a clever ruse to crash the market so everyone would reinvest. And the reason why is because 4 hours before that happened, Donald Trump said the following words: "It's a good time to buy." Why? Well, the same reason that every single trader, that every single investment company in the freaking world was saying the following: buy during the dip. Everyone says this. I mean, so what you're saying is that Donald Trump invented the words buy low and sell high? That's all he said. It would be like going out and saying having an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And then people have strokes and heart attacks or get cancer shot. And they're like, it's Donald Trump. He knew people were going to die. And instead of giving them medical advice, he told them to eat an apple. And it's his fault. Or all of a sudden the cure for cancer comes out and Donald Trump releases it and he goes, look at all those people who are out of jobs now trying to solve the cure for cancer. He single-handedly destroyed the economy. We're all going to die. You got Elon Musk who's trying to solve global warming. And if we don't solve it, you can't have it both ways. He's literally making electric cars to help the environment, but our natural resources are getting raped, but whatever. And so he's trying to save the planet, but you also say the world's going to end. So he wants to go to Mars and colonize Mars, which would give us, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, a relocatable option outside of melting to death or drowning, according to y'all folks. So which one is it? These are the choices that the Democrats make. They don't know what to do. They just literally, it's the meme, where the guy's sweating and he has to push a button, save the earth with Elon Musk and his cars, or go ahead and condemn him for giving us an option off this planet when it literally melts. It doesn't matter what he does. So here's what they're saying. They're saying Donald Trump is single-handedly, so all of his buddies can get richer with information for insider trading. Here's AOC. Of course, Brenda Shepard, $25 since the test worked. That's 28 from Brenda. Thank you, Brenda. All right, so here's AOC. She has something to say. We get to hear from the bartender. So exciting. And I love
from tweeting.
I love her expertise. And we're going to talk about this today. Okay, so every time I do this, I'll go back and fix it in a second. We're going to talk about people's expertise here in a second. And we're going to talk about Joe Rogan. And there's a really interesting segment. And I happen to be in agreement. Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, shut up and don't talk about it. And there are plenty of things that I just don't bring up on this show because I always talk about the military, talk about government, civics, law, geopolitical situations, those military involvement. Those are the things that I talk about. And if I have an idea, I talk about it. And if I don't, I go study it. Like, look at the Baltimore Bridge collapse. Look how much we learned together. We learned about propulsion system, hydraulics. We learned about causeways and overspills. We learned about, the distribution of weight with an anchor compared to tonnage of a crab. I mean, we dived into so many different things. And we learned. We learned the difference between electrical spark on metal versus thermite. I mean, we studied together. And that's why, and people ask, well, why do you know everything? I don't. That's why we learn together. But what we don't do is espouse certainty when we don't know. There's a difference. It's okay to say, I really want to learn, but I have an opinion on this. And if what we talk about doesn't line up to contradict or counteract my opinion, I'm going to express it. You don't have to be a nuclear scientist or you don't have to be a brain surgeon to understand the basic steps of what brain surgery entails. And it's not difficult for you to look at 1970s to 1980s to the 1990s and the progression of brain surgery to understand that when we were going into people's brains and doing surgeries in that time that we were honestly causing a lot more damage than we were helping in a lot of cases. And it's okay for you to speak on that. You can read a paper or 10, you can study that, you can have conversations with people, and then you can ask questions. But when you assert that you know more than somebody simply because you have a feeling, or you think, or I feel, or I want, well, then you're basing everything, and it's predicated on emotion, not fact. And that is the one thing for 4 years that we have said ad nauseum on this show. Here's AOC.
Trump seems to be doing...
There it is. Seems. In the first 3 words, oh, that's it. Trump seems. The moment you say that, by the way, you're looking very lovely tonight. It's a wonderful ensemble. The pink and very Joan Collins-ish from Falcon Crest. Just letting you know. Then you talk. Here's the rest.
From tweeting people to buy stock and then later announcing his development on taxes. If people are pissed about insider trading here at the House, look at what's happening at the White House right now and with the Republican Party.
Do you think he knew what he was doing when he sent out that message about?
Do you think, in your expert opinion and clairvoyant ways, do you have a prognostication to make? Nostra AOC Damus? Do you have that? Nostra Ocnamus? Do you have that for us? Through your severe education, through being a culinary master with liquid libations, can you please espouse on the national stage how you have investigated, proven with no equivocation the accusations you're going to make? Because isn't it amazing that all the Democrats are saying the exact same thing? It sounds just like this. I think, and I'm going to assume, and isn't it funny, emotional drivel.
Stocks before he made the announcement?
It sure seemed like he did. I don't
It sure
think
seems
that-
like it. I mean, I don't know because I'm a bartender, but if I was a betting woman, and I am with my own stock investments, I am going to say that I feel he did.
It was a coincidence. I don't think that Trump just coincidentally said buy stocks and then shortly later.
Why do you have to talk? You're so hot. I mean, you could make a shit ton of money on OnlyFans. You don't even have to talk on OnlyFans. You just do that, like that video you did when you were in college and you were spinning around and dancing. It was fantastic. Why do you have to speak? You're ruining it.
Made an announcement that dramatically inflated and dramatically raised a lot of these asset prices.
Oh, yes.
And,
yes.
you know,
No.
I've heard murmurings on the floor.
Ooh, murmurings.
That
I heard murmurings that you were there on J6 and you felt like you were going to get tied up and raped and killed. But what's funny is that you have to be there to be raped and killed. And just a newsflash, no matter how much you felt that was going to happen, you weren't there. Oh. I've got to be there to be raped and killed? Damn it. Nobody told me that in bartending school.
there may have been people that knew that this was coming. And I'm very interested in seeing some of the stock disclosures that come out.
Me too.
You
know what I'm interested in seeing? I want to see the Epstein files. You know what else I want to see? I want to go ahead and see how many FBI and Capitol Police were working on J6. I'd like to see that. You know what else I'd like to see? I would like to see actually who paid for the P tapes and the Steele dossier. Because you guys dropped that on Hillary Clinton in 2008, but I don't know, the Podesta emails lead us to believe that it might have been the DNC. Can we find out who did that? Can we find out who signed the FISA warrant? And why isn't that person in jail? Hey, I have another one. What about all the people and all the fraud that's going on that supposedly we're finding? Well, why isn't anyone in prison? Just a couple questions. Hey, whatever happened to that $10 million for Joe Biden?
The quarter when those reports are due. And I'm very interested in what members of Congress have been buying and trading stocks in the last 24 hours prior.
It's really simple. You can actually find that. It's not hard. You can actually, because there are senators and state legislatures, and disclosure allows you to go ahead and check it. People make a living off of following Nancy Pelosi's investments. $230 some odd million. Made it all in the stock market, on the lecture circuit. Now we're concerned. You can literally see them. Go look at Dan Crenshaw's investments. He's been really lucky.
To this tariff announcement.
Wow. She just ruins it when she speaks. Such a bummer.
Trump seems to be doing,
you
know, from tweeting people to buy stock and then later announcing.
So horrible. So horrible. Here's what it comes down to. Donald Trump said a line that every single person who pretends they know about stocks, and even the ones who do, say, which is buy low, sell high. Every time I talk about buying stock, you know, people, hey, Matt, hey, dude, guess what? What? No, Matt, seriously, are you ready for some advice? I've got some really cool advice. Okay, what is it? Bro, when you buy stock, buy low, sell high.
Wow!
Can you tell me that again? Hold on. Just let it wash over me. Just. Let's build up the moment. Buy low, sell high. That's like insider trading. It's so good. Like, oh my God, it's like fantastic. I never thought of that. I haven't heard that for my entire fucking life. From literally everyone. Jane Bush, $50. Welcome to the Rumble, Matty boy. Thank you for having me, Jane. Come on. Who doesn't know this? Who hasn't heard this? Can you imagine people? They're just like, Snooky. Darling. You'll never believe. Of course. I mean, the stock market's an absolute trash pit. Hold on. The orange orangutan is saying something on the TV. Hold on, Puffy. Puffy, do you have Mummy's jewels? Sell them, dear. Sell them now. Donald Trump just gave advice. Insider trading is in full effect. Yes, I don't care. She was a bitch. Sell the jewels. Put it all of it in the market. It doesn't matter what he said, Puffy. Just do it, damn it. Fine, he said, now don't tell anyone, for God's sakes, we want to get in while the iron is hot. He said, buy low, sell high. I've got to go. I'm sure the NSA is listening. We've got to get out of here. You fucking break. Give me a fucking break. These guys would investigate a rabbit farting in the woods if they thought that it could get Donald Trump out of office. There is nothing that they wouldn't do. I'm done with it. You know what? No, I'm not. I literally can make a living off of this because it's so stupid. Lionel Thornberry. It's like David Attenborough, maybe. The lion goes across the plains and the cheetah. Give me a break. Yeah, that's right, Bob. He said buy low, sell high. We don't understand why Donald Trump would ever share that information. It's classified, level 7, top secret. That's right. Code word classified, Operation Stock Market. We're going to go ahead and have to go ahead and get him for Espionage Act. And he did share it through Signal, I understand, too. Classified top secret information. So they'll open up an investigation. And what's great, and here's the thing, you guys, they can't do shit because they don't have subpoena power in the House. They've got nothing. They can't impeach him. They can't even write him a parking ticket. So guess what? Go ahead. Extrapolate your worst. Get the genital cuff. I dare you. Off with their heads. You guys can't do anything. There's nothing you can do except piss, moan begrudgingly. Insider trading. Keith Baker donated $51.99. Best show out there. Thanks, Keith. Gosh darn. Good job, people. Thanks. You guys are making me feel good tonight. All right, enough. AOC, you look great, dear. Just smoking. Joan Collins hot. But with that Latin persuasion, you know? Slight little sweat on the skin, little oily, beautiful flowing hair and a simple native down part in the middle. Well-trimmed eyebrows. A V-neck, which just says, I've got a secret. Would you like to know what it is? A vest open, not too tight, not flaunting the things that you don't have. It's lovely. And then you verbally vomit all over it and ruin it for me. Just become an OnlyFans mime. That's all you need to do. That's it. That's all you gotta do. I'll join. Seriously. We'll be right back.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction.
Folks, I want to interrupt this message. I just got some information. If you are investing in stock, you might want to buy low and sell high. Thank you very much.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Folks, we have some news about Gretchen Whitmer. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, Matt, you're a traitor, AOC. Listen. She's hot. She's dumb, but she's hot. And you just need to admit it. I mean, seriously. Come on. Stop lying. Yeah, but then she talks. I just said the same thing. I know. But guys, none of you have ever said that in your life. Yeah, but when she speaks, you don't care. A few beers and you're not going to listen to her anyway. Who gives a crap? She just does this and you're like, oh yeah, just shake your head. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, and then when the night closes, you know, how about breakfast at my place? And then, you know, you go do the deed and then you throw her a towel and kick her out. You don't listen to her. I was single once. I know. Just because I've been married since God was a corporal doesn't mean I don't understand how the game is played. You don't care what she's talking about. Who cares? Just shake your head. Uh-huh. Do I look fat? Uh-uh. Do I look pretty? Uh-huh. Do you like me for who I am? Uh-huh. Don't act like you've done a line of cocaine in the bathroom like I just did, literally. It's hay fever. All right. I've had enough. I love these nights. I love fun nights. It's got to be fun sometimes. It can't always be just the same rigmarole. Whitmer loves Trump, or at least doesn't seem to be against him all of a sudden. Now, I want to tell you something. Does anyone in Rumble Chat talk about the show, or you guys just talk all bunch of shit about everything but the show? I'm just checking, because if this all Rumble Chat is you guys just hanging out and chatting, well, then you don't need me here. You guys can do that without me. Paul Rivera says, I'm with you on that one, Matt. She's hot. Thank you. Everyone agrees. Come on. Here's the thing. I told you Whitmer in 2022 during midterms was going to win. And everyone said I was crazy. because of what she did during the lockdowns. But her favorability was the best out of all governors. These people are crazy. So Whitmer has aspirations for next. Now, you got to remember, she addressed the State of the Union, I think, in 2020, and she did the follow-up speech on Trump's last State of the Union. Maybe it was 2019, or whatever. The point is that she did really well. And she had a look about her that it's not, I mean, she kind of looks like she's been rode hard and put away wet. But there was a time where she very, very easy on the eyes. Not AOC easy, but easy on the eyes. And when she spoke, she sounded like I swear to God, a blue-collar Democrat, a blue dog Democrat. And I look over to Libby and I said, uh-oh. If this chick runs, we're in trouble. And luckily, she came out as progressive and completely just... And she kind of sabotaged her own career with what she did in COVID. But she's very popular. And she's starting to move towards not the middle, but not as far left, which looks like the middle, and it's not. So we have to be aware of this. No, you don't need to talk about me. It's okay, Chaos Girl. I'm not jealous. I just didn't know what's going on here. I think everyone's been telling me, Rumble chat, Matt, get on Rumble. I'm here, and you guys are talking about stuff that has nothing to do with the show. So I'm just like, that's cool. Hey, whatever, man. When in Rome, have a good time. Matt, need more color in the beard. What the hell do you mean? I just trimmed it. What do you want me to do? What do you mean I need more color? Do I? I don't think so. But my beard was looking quite dapper. Here is Gretchen Whitmer. And I've got 2 videos to show you. And give it a listen. See what you think. Now, I know what she's doing. She's setting herself up for a 2028 run. But she's going to get... Now, you got to remember this. I don't know if you can have more than 2 terms. It depends on what Michigan law is. Let's find out. Because like here in Virginia, you can't run 2 consecutive terms as governor. So let me find out. Because the timing would be interesting. Governor terms. Let's take a look. Okay. Let's see. Must have 4-year term for governor. And let's do Michigan. Okay. I know most of these. I'm just not sure on Michigan. I think it's a single 2 terms. Okay, it is. I'm right. Okay. So 4-year term and is limited to 2 lifetime terms. So they can split terms. Current governor is Gretchen Whitmer, who was elected in 2018 and reelected in 2022. God, I'm good. She's doing this for a presidential run. That means she'll be expire in 2026. And that's perfect time to get into the race. That's 2 years. So this is what she's doing. She's playing nice in order to have a 2026 announced presidential bid. Here's the video.
And I can tell you, here's where President Trump and I do agree. We do need to make more stuff in America. More cars and chips. More steel and ships. We do need fair trade. I understand.
Wow, that almost sounds like you're Kamala running for office. Here is the real one that's interesting. Now, I know the Michigan people are going to get all up in arms if I don't get this right. And trust me, I'm not going to. But there's some sort of parasitic fish. And it is an aggressive fish species. And it kills off other species. And it's a predatory. It expands. It takes over. It's like Mormons in Utah. Sorry. So it's an aggressive type fish. And Donald Trump signed an order for the federal government to assist and fund and help Michigan to save the lakes because it's affecting 1 out of the 3 lakes right now. And since those waters share entry and egress and exit points, entry and egress points, it ultimately, the fish will expand into the other lakes, and then it's going to kill fishing, even though Gretchen Whitmer shut it down. If you were on the lake, you got arrested, but it doesn't matter. If those fish expand, it could be a dangerous thing. Now, it's my understanding that they asked Biden for this, and Biden's like, we only protect salmon in Oregon. And no, it's not piranha. That's funny. Piranha, killer piranha, Sharknado, Lake Huron. Okay, so listen to this, and then we'll come back.
Has this gotten into any of the other lakes yet? Because you would think it would be pretty easy because they're all sort of connected. Governor?
It's why we're working so hard to make sure that, we work with the Army Corps and erect a barrier.
And if you see, first of all, body language tells you everything. She is like, first of all, she looks like she raided Michael Jackson's closet if he was a Crip. And she's standing so far away from the cameras. And she's doing that on purpose. They were all shoulder to shoulder, but she's just like, I don't want to be seen here. I don't want to be seen here. I don't want to be seen here. Asian carp. Okay, great.
So that the Asian carp can't get into...
Asian carp, that's what it is. Sounds a little racist to me. Wait a second. Wait, whoa. We can't say Chinese virus, but we can say Asian carp. We can denigrate Asians to basically a sucker fish with attitude, but we can't say the Asian flu, the Asian virus, the China virus. Give me a break. Okay.
Lake Michigan. It'll devastate the ecosystem, the economy, tourism, and it's 20% of the world's fresh waters in the Great Lakes, Mr. President, which is why it's so important that as a nation we protect the pristine waters. Yep.
And, all of a sudden, I assume the lakes are all interconnected, right? Yeah. So at some point they're going to be in the other lakes. And so we're going to work hard on that. I spoke with, has this gotten into any of...
I don't really care. You know what I mean? My thoughts on this are, you take care of it. It's your state. Why are we taking care of this? Can someone explain to me from Michigan why we're taking care of this? Why does the federal government need to take care of this? Why is this a federal problem? Is there some sort of benefit that we're going to get from Michigan for this? I mean, I listened to this thing and I didn't hear anything that we're getting from this. My thoughts are we can help with the automotive industry. We can even fix the piping in Flint, even though we screwed it up. But why do we care about some aggressive fish? Why don't they take care of it? And also, to get rid of the fish, I heard it's something extremely brutal. An EPA issue, I guess. I think it's important, Amy said. Oh, okay. Right, but why? That still doesn't answer why can't the state take care of it? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it's like forest fires are important too, and California vegetation being backburned is important. Why doesn't the state do it? You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I want to be clear. Gretchen Whitmer wasn't the only one who brought this up. So there were a couple people from Michigan. I don't remember his name, but he was kind of the forebearer on this whole thing. Yeah, maybe that's true, Amy. Maybe we do get fish from Florida. I don't know. Right, Florida has a problem with spine fish, but do you think Florida is going to ask the federal government for help? No, Florida's going to do it themselves. It's just an interesting thing to me. But it's my understanding that to eradicate this fish, it's a pretty gruesome process of what they do. It's not just simply, throw up a net and kill the damn thing. My understanding is that's what Donald Trump said. So my whole point on this is I think the federal government should be involved very little when it comes to the state. And my question is why? Now this is a situation where I don't know. So we can learn together, right? I mean, it's not like, oh, I can't talk about this now. Because if I talk about this, I'm not an expert. I'm admitting I'm not an expert. I have a couple questions so I can better understand. And if it does make sense, well then I'm all for it. Dean says, I live on Lake Michigan in Wisconsin. They have been talking about them for the last 10 years. Right. I get it. And you think a fish which has a lifespan that probably, as an aggressive species, it abundantly eats its own resource for food, and the predation that takes place from that fish, I would have to assume that their lifespan isn't very long, unless they start turning on each other and they Jeffrey Dahmer the situation, So, like most, predators that grow in abundance and consume everything within their habitat, they usually solve their issue. So my point is, if it's been 10 years, then isn't the damage already done? Just saying. I don't know. You know what? I don't care enough. What I do care about is that Gretchen Whitmer is up in 2026, which means that she's vying for a presidential bid. This is what this is all about. I'm just letting you know. This is most assuredly what this is all about. Okay? Just food for thought. We'll be right back.
Join WimKen.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at WimKen.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
So there's a couple of things. Good to see all my Rumble people on over here. I will have the Rumble chat up from now on. I'm having a hard time keeping up because I don't know what the hell's going on over there. So I hope you guys are having fun with it and it's not distracting everybody too much. Amy Stamcone says, Carpe diem. It's good. That's good. Matt, it may be all the states that touch that lake for not sure. Sure. Was it 5? Yeah, it would be bad for tourism. It would be bad for commerce. I'm sure there's people who make livings on that. I don't know how much fish it produces. They eat fish, eggs, and algae. Right. So other food sources and reproductive structure for another life form that shares its habitat. Yeah, it makes sense. Which would eliminate. You eat all the algae, like suckerfish. They're horrible. Suckerfish are a problem in lakes in Bishop and Mammoth and where I used to go fishing. And we would kill them. You'd see them, you'd pull out your boot knife and stick it in their head and throw them back in the lake and chum the water and you'd kill them. And you would pull in a suckerfish, maybe 1 out of 10, and you grab it and you kill it because they are an invasive species too. Right. Why did they neglect this for a decade? Why didn't they use some of that infrastructure money that never went to anything other than their own pockets? Yeah, I'm asking all the same questions. You guys are absolutely on the same page as I am. Tom Shin said, isn't Whitmer one who let her cities burn when BLM was on a rampage? I think that was all Democratic cities, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm sure. She was the one that locked us all down and arrested people on the beach and had these draconian measures, and it was pretty bad. People think she's doing a good job who live there. I know they are. I know. I've been saying that for 2 years, is that her popularity is through the roof. And I'm telling you that she is an up-and-comer for 2028. And don't underestimate her. Don't. Are they edible? No, they taste like shit. They're horrible. Yeah, they're slimy and they're hard. They have tough exoskeletons. They're just a pain in the ass. But that's suckerfish. I don't know about these Chinese carp, but I would assume they're not tasty. I don't know. Because if they were tasty, well, then you just fish them out of population, right? They would have a particular lure that they could use and just fish the shit out of them. I would assume. Maybe they reproduce at a fast enough rate. That's why I do Facebook instead of Rumble. The chat goes by too fast. I can't keep up. Fair enough. Facebook, when we get humming, it goes so fast. Oh, I don't like her. Christina Parkanzi, tough day. Thanks for the humor tonight. Oh, Christina, I hate hearing you had a tough day. I hope your day gets better. That sucks. All right, so here's the deal. Whitmer is evil but smart. Yes. Yep. We do. We need to start campaigning against Whitmer now. It's a great point. But man, I'll tell you what. Whitmer comes out and she picks someone like Harold Ford Jr. That's a tough ticket. That's a tough ticket. A white woman who actually knows what she's doing outside Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was the most hated woman in the world, white, black, or otherwise. But Whitmer, popular, could get people to rally behind her. She's not stupid. I don't like her. But she's smart. She's not stupid. You can't underestimate your opponents, folks. That's how we get Joe Biden. Joe Biden, for all of his dipshitness, he had people who were propping him up and shoving a cattle prod up his ass to get him to do exactly what he needed to get where he's at. Matt, she is evil, but I don't foresee her winning the nomination. Well, that depends, because we're going to talk about it right now. So this is why it is possible. I'm pretty good at this. Like, this is the one I'm good at. Everyone knows this. When it comes to predicting what's next. And she can win the nomination. Most assuredly. And I'm going to tell you why. We're going to watch a clip. And this has to do with Joe Rogan's show. Now, you guys know I like Joe Rogan. I'm scratching my head a little bit with why he is starting to, it's not that he's entertaining the far right, but he's getting challenged to push the anti-Semitic grifters onto his show. Guys like Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll's like, oh, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just asking questions. No, you're an anti-Semitic dick. And so is Jake Shields. So is Nick Fuentes. We know these things. These people they're just looking for their 15 minutes. At least Nick Fuentes is consistent, and he's the original. But he's starting to get challenged. So he decided to put Douglas Murray, and I don't know if you guys know who Douglas Murray is. Really smart guy. And he just went on Joe Rogan and really took it to Joe. Now, there is a fundamental shift. And this is going to be a little deep, so you got to follow me here, okay? In 2014, between 2006 and 2014, you've heard me talk about this many times, the Tea Party kind of rose up. And it had a lot to do with feckless spending and not balancing the budget and literally seeing decades without a budget being balanced, and taxation without representation and over government reach and the Patriot Act and endless wars and all the things that libertarians can't stand, and not enough drugs off of the banned list, which they love. And out of that Tea Party, something happened. It fractured. And when Ron Paul left, that no longer was the Tea Party. It was sold to the highest bidder, which were the Koch brothers. And the Koch brothers were very focused on bringing in religious zealots who they felt that the country was moving away from Christian conservative values and moving into this socially liberal, fiscal conservative that spent a shitload of money group. And that was like the neocons and the Uniparty, and wanted to hijack the Republican Party. And they did successfully. And when that took place, something shifted. You started to see the Jason Chaffetz and the Trey Gowdies and the Michelle Bachmans and the Paul Ryans come out of the woodwork, the Glenn Beck Conservative Party, moving from the Rush Limbaugh style party, which were more of the Bush Republicans, into this new uniparty, stand firm on values socially, be Christian conservative, but don't be afraid to get involved in proxy and spend an ungodly amount of money, but not on infrastructure, but on defense and globalism, neocons, but with Christian nationalism mixed in. And they sold a lie to the American people, and it's starting again. And I told you it was going to start again. It's starting again. And the lie that they told you was that Sharia law was coming to the United States. Sharia law was coming here, and they were going to put you all in burqas. And your churches were going to be bulldozed and mosques were going to be put up. Look what they did in 9/11. They put a mosque right there in Ground Zero. Everything was about Muslims. So when Barack Hussein Obama started to dip in the polls, it was open season on him and how he is a closeted Muslim, which he is. And we saw this focus on Christian nationalism and anti-Muslim sentiment. And Tammy says, I like Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh. I love Rush Limbaugh. I do not like Glenn Beck. I think Glenn Beck is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. I didn't like him on Fox. I think he is a doomsayer, and he predicts the end of the world without predicting it. I'm not saying the world's going to end tomorrow, but if you have your life insurance, you better be ready just in case. You better tune in tomorrow to find out how you're not going to die when you die. And you're just like, what? How many times can you call the internet? So I got sick of that shit. So he went over and The Blaze was created. And I'm not a big fan of The Blaze people. I don't like who he surrounds himself with. I don't like how negative he is on Trump. I don't like his constant regurgitation of articles that are brainless and stupid behind a paywall. I'm not a big fan. And I think he was one of the worst parts that came out of the 2006 to 2014 Republicans, which had me disavow the party. I really did. I just stepped away. And I got out of politics. I was just like, screw these people. I don't relate to these people. They're going to put people in burqas. I can't get my wife to freaking take off my boots, and I'm going to put her in a burqa and whip her with a cane that she doesn't want, in the bedroom. Yeah, I'm getting to that, Darren. Give me a minute. I'm going there. I'm going there. Just give me a minute. So that is what happened to the Tea Party. And they literally held the party hostage. And it's why Obama got reelected. He had just a abysmal House run. Just one of the worst turnarounds in the House deficit between Democrat control to Republican control ever in U.S. history. He should not have got a second term. But they didn't have a viable candidate to put in front of him. And what they were doing is they were playing where the puck was going to be. And they saw Russia as an imminent threat. And Obama just made Romney look like a fool. Because face it, he is a fool. And the real truth about Romney is he didn't disagree with anything Obama said because he is a closet fucking liberal. I'm not here to bag on Glenn Beck. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm just telling you, I don't like his style. It's just like Benny Johnson. Joanne Lutman, $20. As always, good show. Thanks, Joanne. If you think it's good, we're not done yet. We got a lot more to go. $251. We're almost there, folks. 50 more bucks. Appreciate you. Thank you. Hey, if we get there before 8:30, this is awesome. We're going to have overtime. We'll have another hour. Another 7 minutes. Okay, so we got okay. Another one? What just happened? We got two of them. Okay. Olivia will tell me. Okay. Long way around the barn. I'm getting there. I told you this was going to be a big segment. So you got that Tea Party. And Republicans had a civil war inside, very similar to what's happening to the progressives and what you would consider the modern day liberals. And there really are no more liberals. There's the left, which are the socialist progressives, and then you have the Democrat socialists, which basically aren't. Okay, fix it, please. Is it really at 251? Liv? Okay, so that has really happened since the AOCs. You've got the Bernie Bros, and you've got the Elizabeth Warren and the Amy Klobuchars and the Tulsi Gabbards. Go look at her voting record. You guys, I've told you that were more of the socialists. But then you got AOC and Ilhan Omar and Rashid Tlaib, and these are the activist democratic socialists. The way to differentiate those two groups is one wants to burn it all down, and the other one wants to spend it into oblivion and break it. Very different. Okay, very different things. But that control of the liberals, the old liberals, the Nancy Pelosi's, is dead. That party's done. There is no more of that. Hakeem Jeffries is ultra progressive. Everybody, there is no more liberal party. The Kevster, $10.80 because Ethan is the man. Thanks, Kev. So what you've got now is you have the fracture that we saw 2006, 2014 between the Republicans, the GOP, and a civil war inside of it. You are seeing the exact same thing in the Democrat Party right now. Right now. This is how they took control. The Democrats won under Biden because they sold the wokest process of guilting people into voting for the lowest common denominator. Let me give you an example. Women aren't men. You couldn't say those words 10 years ago. You would be thrown into 25 years ago, you'd be thrown into a loony bin. Children should be sexualized to identify which sex they are at a very early age. You'd be thrown in a loony bin. Teachers would be fired on spot. An investigation would be opened up in the school. Borders. We should have all the illegal. $241.89, folks, is where we're at. We're $60 shy. Okay. So you've got all those things. You can go to Afghanistan and look at Afghanistan. We want forever wars. I mean, yes, Republicans start a lot of conflicts, but they were never designed to be forever wars. And when you look at the Gulf, you look at Afghanistan, you look at the proxies, for God's sakes, Obama was literally proxying 16 different countries in battle, okay? Don't give me, it's always the Republicans that start the war. No, Republicans, they lay down the hammer when people call to action. And they also have made mistakes. And the Bushes are neocons. You might as well slap a liberal tattoo on them. The Bushes are neocons. They were always neocons. And they were always warmongers. They are just like Hillary Clinton, and they're just as progressive. And if you think that's not true, just go and look up the policies of George F. and Bush. The man who brought you the Patriot Act, the largest civil rights violation ever in history, slavery, probably had less of an impact on our country from a per-person ratio than the Patriot Act, where 326 million Americans and counting are spied on daily by your government with multiple programs. And although slavery most assuredly was a very big thing and impacted a lot of people, is an echo throughout history that it has not had the impact that the Patriot Act has had for the last 20 fucking years. Okay? That's the truth. Whether you like it or not, it is the largest spy program ever. And Americans literally take it up the ass every single day. It is the single-handedly the biggest civil rights violation ever in history. And I will stand by that to the day I die. Oh, Matt, you're not sympathetic to the slaves. Wrong. That's not what I said. Slavery is a huge civil rights violation. Yes, that affected 4 million people. Yes. I just told you that 332 million now have been spied on by their government. I'm sorry, there's nothing on planet Earth that's bigger than that. Ever in the world history. The entire world is being spied on. Suspending habeas corpus. It is a civil rights violation of monumental, gargantuan proportion. Get it? Good it? Got it? Good. Great. They sold us the woke ideology and guilted us into supporting that anything that they said that you went against, you were the enemy. And they had this mob, this vitriolic mob that would just be just like piranha, would sick anyone who broke stride from the narrative. Can't say retarded, can't say gay. You can't go ahead and tell a woman she's pretty. The Me Too movement. Men are stupid, women are superior. In the workplace, we need balance, we need equity, we need inclusion, we need diversity. You need to take a test about your white fragility. All this shit just came out, and they were amazing at this publicity machine. I'm telling you. And I told you all, it's right out of the Saul Alinsky playbook. Literally what Hillary Clinton wrote her thesis on, it was the Saul Alinsky playbook. And they wrote a masterful brainwashing by using the schools to circumvent the education system, to take family values, Christianity out of the school systems, out of our culture, and shame the majority in this country, which are white people. Now, do I have a problem with that? No, because power shifts change all the time. And honestly, black people got their due. Mexicans got their due. Asians got their due. And women got their due. And the white man had to sweat a little bit of blood, a little bit of skin in the game. Okay? They had it good for a long time. But this shit wasn't that. This was openly reversed racism, reverse sexism. The things that they've said were never tolerable towards any minority. Then they started practically applying to us. And they won. And Joe Biden got in because of it, because they sold the great lie about the Nazis, that somehow conservatives are Nazis, and that Christianity is evil, and we hate gay people. Mama Judy, $10. Welcome to Rumble Chat, man. Thanks, Mama Judy. And they were sold this huge lie. And it's all through the Saul Alinsky playbook. It was, and like I said, it was masterful. But ultimately, it wasn't sustainable. And what was tenable at one point became unsustainable. And eventually, people caught on. And people got sick of it because they started canceling their own. Started canceling Elon. They started canceling J.K. Rowling. They started getting Roseanne Barr, Gina Carano, Tim Allen. Everybody who spoke up, they tried to kill. And they got him with the Me Too movement. But then after that, it was, you're a Nazi and you're a racist. You're a xenophobe. You're a homophobe. And they literally massacred their own. They were cannibalistic, and it destroyed their party. And that's why they lost. And they became a vacuum chamber of nobody else can have an opinion. Nobody else can challenge the narrative that Democrats espouse. And it ate their own party. Are you with me? Great. And I am telling you right now that if conservatives continue down this path, we will be the next woke party. And it won't be woke about diversity, equity, inclusion. It'll be woke between the truth and feelings. Because the one thing I have noticed about conservatives is they are going back to their Christian ways of, if you challenge anything that I say about God, I will excommunicate you from my life. I will tell you to go F yourself through prayer, and I will remove you out of my existence as a threat. Because that's the way it used to be. If you question my God, if you question my values, if you question anything, you are castigated out as a devil worshiper, a Satanist, and a person here to lead. You are the devil trying to lead me astray from the flock. And we all know because we had moms and dads during that period. And that's the way it was. And it was a complete ignorant way to do business. And somewhere Christians learned we need to have conversation. We need to curtail to other people's inequities. We need to help them understand that the word of God and bringing it to them through love and not ignorance, and not to admonish them or castigate them to hell because we disagree with their sin, to love the sinner but hate the sin. That was the new mantra. And somehow Christians learned to coexist with the current state of things. And that is what we have. But we are going back to an old ignorant way where we believe and we use the phrase, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. Or this is my freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want. Or, well, we don't have to agree. Or, just because you think this is my truth. Oh, God, I can't handle when people say that. I just want to punch them in the face. My truth. There is no my truth. There's only truth. And we're seeing it from a group of far-right people who are single-handedly trying to change history just like the liberals did. They are literally trying to rewrite it with the 1619 Project. The black people built America long before whites. To remove prominent white figures, tearing down statues, erasing history, rewriting history. This is now happening, and it's going with the Jews. Listen to what I'm saying, that this will be the destruction of our party if we do not castigate these people out. That Winston Churchill was worse than Hitler. What? If you're one of those people, call into the show. Phone lines are open, 804-212-2208. Tell me why Winston Churchill was worse than Hitler. And I'm warning you, this is not going to be comfortable for you. This is going to hurt. That the Holocaust wasn't real. That the USS Liberty were the Jews trying to kill and start war with the Americans, and that they hate us. They killed Kennedy. The dancing Jews did 9/11. If you're one of those people, come on my show. Tell me why. And you've been on here before. I've had groiper after groiper on this show trying to light me up like a Christmas tree. And guess what? You guys sucked. You were horrible. I had Beardson on my show. At the end of it, he was like, oh, you're a real nice guy, blah, blah, blah. And all his little trolls were talking shit. And he's sitting there, he's just smiling. Because the one thing that we won't allow is for people to say something without accountability on this show. You don't get to say that Winston Churchill was evil, was worse than Hitler, without explaining it with fact. Now, were the English horrible and insufferable? Yeah. They were also on the verge of being eliminated by a German army that were bombing them relentlessly and mercilessly. And they finally just said, fuck it, we're done. Just like we did with the Japanese. Same thing. Same thing. This isn't about being right. It's about being wrong and not knowing you're wrong. And this whole thing that you can just make shit up and throw it out there like throwing shit on a wall and expect it to stick, and that people aren't going to question you. And we need to educate ourselves. You need to be smarter than these fuckers because they're wrong. And they are espousing shit that has already been vetted. These are literally, people call it the blood libel. It's not blood libel, it's just fact. Just like the people that are, oh, Hitler's alive in South America. That's not what it says. There is a person who claims Hitler was alive. Lee Harvey Oswald was on Houston and Maine. No, he wasn't. I've got 9 individual reports on the Warren Commission and police reports that saw him on the 3rd floor in the cafeteria. I know because I know more than you about the John F. Kennedy assassination. I also know more about you than World War II. Because you may have these amazing theories, but you'll never stick to them because you literally jump to them like a man whore jumping prostitutes. You can't stick to one topic. Let's argue the point. Winston Churchill was worse than Hitler. Go. And I don't want to hear about the USS Liberty. And I want to hear about 9/11. And I don't want to hear about Sumerians. I don't want to hear about the Philistines. I don't want to hear about coin and currency that's predated and carbon dated with 3200. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. What I want to talk about is Winston Churchill and why he was worse than Hitler. Educate me. And stick to it. Just fucking stick to the topic. You're not going to change it. And if you can figure this out, these people need to be eradicated from our party. They can have their opinions. They can say they can have a circle jerk with cigars and everything else, and they can wear funny tutus and talk about how bad the Jews are and how the Jews are taking over the world. And you know what we did with those people? They were called skinheads. And we laughed at them in school and kicked the fucking shit out of them. Or they can create the Ku Klux Klan. Or they can go to prison and be the Aryan Brotherhood and butt rape each other. But those people are the dregs of society. They're just as bad as the left. They're just as bad as Black Panthers. They're just as bad as the black militant groups. They're just as bad as BLM, and they're using the same methodology and taking over our party, and they are gaining traction because their voice is extremely small, but they are getting airtime, and people fucking platform them. Why? I got to give Ben Shapiro credit on one thing. I've been going after Ben Shapiro lately and Candace Owens because I think they're both dipshits. But I will tell you this. Ben Shapiro will not debate Nick Fuentes. Why? Because he knows exactly what I'm saying. Because nothing will come of it because Nick will be the only one who benefits. You can't debate the Groypers. You can't debate Fuentes. They come on and they literally say they're going to rape your daughter. How do you debate somebody like that? That's not a debate. That's literally a pissing match. I might as well just go ahead and just pee all over the set and measure it by quantity and length and then ask for their results and see who wins. There is nothing that you will say to me to my face, but you'll say all of it when we're in a chat room. That's not debate. This is debate. And this is the way you debate. And I got to give it up to Joe Rogan because I have not seen Joe Rogan be challenged like this on his own show. This is the way it should happen. This is the way you have this conversation. I want you to listen to this. It's almost 6 minutes. But you have a comedian here. I'll give you names and everything later. You have a comedian who is kind of defending the anti-Semitic comments, the comments about Churchill, the comments how Churchill's worse than Hitler. And Joe Rogan had this person on. And this conversation is focused. And Douglas Murray comes on in his way. And no matter what you think, he's an ostentatious Brit. I don't give a fuck. The guy has the ability to argue. I like Joe. But Joe has to realize that he has a platform that's massive. And you should be selective on who you... Like, I would never, ever, ever expect Joe Rogan to bring me on his show. Why? Why would he? That's like giving me a shot at hitting a 99-mile-an-hour fastball in the MLB. I should be in the minor. I should go to some smaller shows. Don't you think? And work my way up. Eli Crane had to. He was on my show. He won't come on my show probably again. He might. I don't know. But now he's been on Jocko. Now that he's been on Joe. Now that he's been on Sean Ryan. Why come back to the minors? The same thing holds true for going up way too fast. There are people who have no reason to be on Joe Rogan who are on Joe Rogan, and I disagree. And it's not, well, everybody should have a voice. You do have a voice, but it doesn't mean you should be heard. Here is this amazing exchange. Listen.
I bet you agree on a lot of things. I bet you disagree on a lot of things. It'd be fascinating to see your perspectives on these things. So that's why you're here together.
Okay.
And
Well,
Douglas,
can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
Since the war...
Now, listen. Already, like, if you're a debater, you're in deep trouble. Because he's like, okay, I'm not even going to do pleasantries. I'm going to get to the debate because I'm not here to build a relationship with you. I am here to contradict your comments because they are fictitious, they are irresponsible, and they're false. So immediately, let's talk about the war. I mean, just right for the throat. And that is the way I would do it too. It isn't shake hands and kiss. You said something stupid, and I'm going to tell you what. It's Scott Jennings. That's the type of debate you're talking about. You don't need to get into the knuckle dragging portion. You don't get into the name calling. But he immediately sets the tone for what's about to be discussed. And that is, I'm not screwing around. Let's get right to the topic. All right, here it is.
To see your perspectives on these things. So that's why you're here together.
Okay.
And
Well,
Douglas,
can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
Since the war in Israel began, and since the war in Ukraine began, you've had quite a lot of people who are very against both in different ways.
Yes.
Do you think you've had enough people on who are supportive of either?
Sorry, too low, too low.
I don't know that word enough.
Sorry. Let me get to that again. I apologize. Sometimes the sound is never perfect on Twitter. It has no audio balancing. If it's one thing I would give feedback to Elon, it's balance your fucking audio. All right.
Who are very against both in different ways.
Yes.
Do you think you've had enough people on who are supportive of either war?
I don't know that word enough, if that's a good word.
Let's say enough people who are on the side of Israel instead of wild critics.
Well, I've had a few. I mean, I believe God Sad is on the side of Israel.
For sure.
Jordan is on the side of Israel.
You had Mike Baker, Coleman Hughes.
Yeah.
Coleman did it for like 20 minutes. That wasn't why he was here.
No. I mean, none of them. And none of them is why they're here. You know, it's a good question.
Do you think you've tilted one way?
Me personally?
No. Just with the guests you've had.
The guests, yeah, probably more tilted towards the idea that perhaps the way they've done it is barbaric.
Mm-hmm. But why do you think that is? Just out of interest. I'm just interested in your selection of guests because you're like the world's #1 podcast. So
yeah, it's not. I don't think about it that way. I just think I'd like to talk to this person.
But can I just?
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
it's your show, but
sure.
If you're going to interview historians of the conflict or historians in general, why would you get somebody like Ian Carroll?
Yes.
Yeah, but Ian Carroll, I didn't bring him on for that purpose. I brought him on because I want to find out, like, how does one get involved in the whole conspiracy theory business? Because his whole thing is just conspiracies.
Sure.
You know.
But see, isn't that an interesting thing? That his thing is conspiracies, and we call lies conspiracy. Do you understand? Just because, okay, if I say to you, that there are 82 games in the Stanley Cup, it takes 16 games to win. And you have 4 rounds of possible 7 games, which would be a total of 28 games. You need 16 to win. And if you lose 11, you're out in any way. Now, it can be less than that, but that's essentially what it works. And in the end, if you go ahead and win those 16, hey, baby. Oh, baby, she has surgery tomorrow. I'm freaking terrified. I love you. Want to come sit next to me? My beautiful baby. Come on. Hi, hi. Come lay down with Daddy. Go lay down. Come on. Come here. Go lay down with Dad. Come on, baby. She has surgery. She has to get fixed tomorrow. Terrifies me. Go lay down. And I know the odds. You don't need to tell me the odds. It's like 99.8% successful. I love this dog. This dog's become my life. All right. Now, I told you all that with the Stanley Cup, okay? And then I say to you, it only takes 15 wins to get the Stanley Cup. It only takes 15 wins. And there is a conspiracy by Bettman that Canada cannot win the Stanley Cup because they haven't won it in 32 years. Is that conspiracy theory? No, you're fucking lying. Because it's so easily provable. But when you have the guise of, I can question anything because the government lies to you, therefore everything the government does is a lie. The moment you go there and you start speaking in infinites, when you start speaking in absolutes, you have lost the argument. It's over. Because that's not the way the laws of probability work. Just because people lie doesn't mean everything that they say is a liar. It means everything that they say, you should have speculative doubt about what they're saying. But once you get the proof that they aren't lying, then you have to accept that. No matter what your emotions tell you. Yes, she's getting a spay. Still surgery. I don't like it. I just love the dog. Okay. Her spay and neuter is covered by her adoption fee. Trust me, we've already paid for it. And we are getting her insurance. We just want to get through this process first. Okay. So I want you to be clear. Ian Carroll is not necessarily always right. He is an amazing presenter. And he's very likable. He's got a good face. He's got a good tone. He's got great tempo. He's just like Rogan. Rogan's got a really cool look. He's got a great voice. He knows when to shut the fuck up and let the guests talk. He knows how to ask questions when it's not going the way it needs to. He knows how to bring things out of people. He is an amazing interviewer. And intellectually, he's very good because he asks questions. But Joe Rogan's one fault is he's too open-minded. Too open-minded. And Ian Carroll is closed-minded. Even though he asks questions, he already has an opinion, but he tries to sell you that he is open to something else. Mine, you want to know what mine is? I let emotion get to me when people are stupid. And when I am giving them, like, dude, I'm laying this out for you, like, as easy as pie, and you continue to say the same shit, I lose my temper. I'm getting better at it. I'm much better than I used to be. But that's my fault. Ian Carroll's is that he can talk himself into anything. And he pretends that he doesn't have an agenda. And he does. Every video is there to convince you one thing. And he is going to go, but I'm not sure, but let me tell you why I want you to come to the same conclusion that I am going to have at the end of this. And that is called leading the witness. Here's the rest.
No. But do you have any, I mean, there's been a tilt in the conversation, in both conversations in the last couple of years. And it's largely to do with people who have appointed themselves experts who are not experts.
Yes.
You mean like Ian? I don't think he appoints himself an expert in anything.
Who's that other dude who thinks he's an expert on Churchill?
Daryl Cooper does not think he's an expert.
In fact, I think it's everybody else is always calling him an expert, and he's like, oh, I'm just a history
Have
nerd.
you ever absorbed any of his material? Have you ever consumed any of his podcasts or anything like that?
I tried.
Yeah?
It's pretty hard to listen to somebody who says, I don't know what I'm talking about, but now I'm going to talk.
Yes.
Or I don't know about this. Or I'm not capable of debating this historian, but...
Right. That's the ever-loving point. It's okay to say, I don't know enough about this, but what you can do is do like Barry Morgenstein did when we started talking about abortion. Now, I'm pretty confident Barry Morgenstein has an opinion on abortion, but he also knows he runs a business and he has a lot of celebrities and a lot of people have feelings about abortion. And he just simply goes, I'm not versed enough on this topic to have a conversation, so I'm just going to pass. He didn't go, listen, I really don't know much about this, but here's why I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. It was so funny when Beardson was here and Leroy and I were on, and he goes, oh yeah, well, let's talk about the USS Liberty. And Leroy and I look at each other and go, well, we've read the classified documents on the USS Liberty. And we both studied at the Naval War College in Annapolis. let's have a conversation about it. What do you want to talk about? And then it was like, yeah, I don't think you guys know what you're talking. Wait a second. We're literally experts on this topic. And we have dismantled it many times. And you're going to sit here and say, yeah, that's the cover story. That is you and exactly what I'm talking about that we need to quash in this party, or we're going to go the way of the left. Because what you're saying is, I'm right, you're wrong, nana nana boo boo, stick your head in doo doo, I'm better than you do. And that is not the way you learn. It's not the way you educate. It's the way you become bullheaded, ignorant, and you create a narrative because you're defensive and want to be right so much that people who listen to you take your side and then take your ignorant position in order to go ahead and espouse the same shit you did to give you credibility. You should never be loyal to a host. You should never be loyal to me like that. I'm telling you right now, don't you dare question what I say. Dig, find out, prove me wrong, and people have. I can't tell you how many times I've apologized on this show. Hey, you know what? I fucked up on that one. Sorry. Or, hey, I didn't know what I was talking about. I opened my mouth and I shouldn't have. I said that the other night. And I usually preface, hey, I could be wrong about this, guys. I'm talking about this, and this isn't fact. I'm not sure. I always say that. But what I don't do is say, hey, I don't know about this. I don't have fact, but let me tell you why it's fact.
I'm going to just tell you what I think.
Yeah, but that's not exactly what Daryl was saying. I mean, Daryl's point of view, however you feel about this, what Daryl is saying is he doesn't really.
Celia George, banner, please. It's an anon on Facebook. Please get rid of her.
Like doing.
Thank you, Amy.
Debates. He likes to do long format stuff where he can really explain his position.
If you throw a lot of shit out,
Bobby Richardson, 51.99. What would I do without you guys? Love you all. Well, you'd probably be a little richer, but damn it, we love you, Bobby. So thank you for your donation. That pushes us over 304.68. Folks, if you haven't gotten some donations in, please do now. I know we're getting to the end of the show, but I've still got a lot to cover. We're going in overtime. We're going to go till 9:30. So if you haven't got a donation in, now's the time to do it. Please help us out. Thanks.
It's not a valid thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not raising questions. You're not asking questions. You're telling people something.
Do you think Daryl's doing that?
I think there's a whole bunch of guys doing that. I think Dave is doing that, very obviously. Dave's a comedian, but he's now mainly talking about Israel.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
All right. Now, this is where I take umbrage, you cheeky bastard. Just because you have a profession does not mean that you are not educated on a topic. He has the same access to the information that you do. The same access. And for you to assume that you only have to have one devotion in order to truly be a master, when people who have skill sets of being a dilettante like I do, not great at anything, but good at just about anything. And that's the truth. Doesn't matter what it is. I may not be able to throw the ball 80 yards, but I can play football. I'm not horrible. I'm not the last pick guy. Hockey. I can carry the puck up the ice and I can put it over a goaltender's shoulder. You want to go ahead and throw some cuffs? We can throw hands. You want to talk about physics? You want to talk about sociology? You want to talk about practical science? You want to talk about applied science? You want to talk about the Jews? You want to talk about the Hindus? You want to talk about Buddha, wars? You want to talk about geopolitical situations, economics, Latin, Greece? Whatever you want. We can have a great conversation, because here's the thing. You don't have to be an expert to talk. But you better know your shit when you're talking to an expert. Or you better be able to take a slice of humble pie and listen and learn. I don't know anything about Cheyenne last night, and I maybe said 3 combined segments of words that lasted maybe 10 or 15 seconds, and I listened to everything else she said. I just took it all in because I don't know enough about what she's going through, and I can learn. And now you're damn skippy that I can ask some questions. But I did know about her necklace, and no one's ever asked her that before. And I asked her questions that she wasn't ready for because I listened and I learned. And I use that knowledge in real time. So when this guy says, hey, you're not an expert, you can't talk about it, fuck that. That is why we have ignorant people today. And you're shutting down the conversation. But the first half thing, what he said is absolutely right. That if you're just sitting here and throwing shit at the wall and see if it sticks, that's not a conversation that I need to have with you. Because that's not dialogue. That's you espousing something that is absolutely antithetical to the truth. And it's not worth being heard. It's not worth disseminating. It's not worth anything because it's not true. And just because you want it to be, or just because you've said it loud for 80 years, it doesn't mean it is.
Mainly talking about Israel.
That's all I see you
I have
on the
opinions.
internet doing.
Yeah, but that's you.
Well,
just,
that might be what you've seen.
It's
but
just
I don't
you
think that's.
consuming
But
clips.
that is also your shtick now, isn't it?
Well, what do you mean by that's my shtick?
Well, you're not a geopolitics guy in general, are you?
I don't even know exactly what you're asking.
I'm saying you've decided.
Are you trying to play
being a
stupid?
comedian,
See, this is another thing. You don't get to play stupid. If you're espousing that you're an educated person who's able to have a conversation on this topic, and then you play ignorant every time you get challenged, you're just proving his point that you can't have the conversation. It's not that I'm superior and I'm smart, man. You're dumb. It's that you're incapable of understanding what I'm saying, or you're playing that you are, which is even worse. Why are you playing dumb? I heard what he said. You're a comedian who's pretending that he understands geopolitics and theology, and you understand Middle Eastern history. You're espousing that you have at least an intermediate vocabulary on these subjects, and you're a comedian. So you better state your case at how you're qualified.
How to become somebody who talks about Israel.
I think you're incorrect. I don't think it's a decision. I just think you have long-form conversations, multiple of them. It's a huge event that's in the news, so it comes up. I don't think it's a thing. I think if you're on the outside, you'd say, oh, look, they're trying to get attention by talking about this very polarizing issue publicly. That's
you do get attention from that. If you'd spent the last year speaking about Myanmar, you would not be on my lips.
Yeah, but he does talk about Yemen constantly. He talks about a lot of things that aren't in the news.
Well, I tend to talk about the conflicts that my government is directly involved in, which I think is reasonable to me. But I don't quite get, like, what's all the appeal to authority stuff? I mean, but you have to be an expert, or
I think
what
authority
exactly
matters.
makes you
I
an
think
expert?
authority matters, and I think that if you just throw a lot of shit out there and then say, I'm not interested in the alternative views on this, and particularly when it's a counter narrative that is wildly off. And when you get people with this, look, I just feel we should get it out straight away. I feel you've opened the door to quite a lot of people who've now got a big platform who have been throwing out counter historical stuff of a very dangerous kind.
I can't disagree with him in the least. And that's exactly what I said. And people are like, oh man, but free speech. Free speech. Yeah. You can go in a public square and say what you want. You want to start your own podcast? Do it. You want to go ahead and have but Joe Rogan is under no obligation to give you a platform. If you want a platform on Joe Rogan, you better be prepared to play by his rules. And you have to be respectful of what he created. But you better well know that with that platform comes a lot of responsibility. And it's not a free speech issue. That's not what this is about. Some people don't deserve to be heard. That's it. Everybody deserves to be heard. Really? Your mother-in-law? When it comes to the raising of your kids, does she need to be heard? Flat earthers need to be heard? You want to have one over for dinner? You want to give them a 2.5-hour platform to tell you all about flat earth? Smoke a cigar with them and have a whiskey? Do you want to have a transgender person talking about the intricacies of having sex with a man at the same time with a woman? You want to listen to that? Would you like a satanic priest to come in and start castigating aspersions on your home with the Necronomicon? Does that sound like something you want to do? Oh, wait a second. You don't? Why? It's free speech, man. Yes, it's free speech, but I also have the ability to tell you to go fuck yourself, and I don't want to listen to what you have to say. That's my choice. It says don't unfriend me. It doesn't say anything about you. That's why I didn't call it the Don't Unfriend You show. I called it the Don't Unfriend Me show. Because I have a right to say, I don't want to listen to you. You can say it, I just don't have to listen. And anyone that sits up there and tells you, you have to listen to me or you are this, you're just explaining why I don't have to listen to you. Because I don't deal in absolutes. I don't deal in infinites. I don't deal with the ultimatums. It's not that hard. It's a great interview, and you should go watch it all. And it's that good. It really, really, truly is. Be right back.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time. And we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or Mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
$4.60 over goal. Thank you, everybody, for helping us hit it. We do appreciate that. We got 157 in network, which isn't even Rumble or Wimkin. Well over 300 people on. I want to give you guys an update. Last night, we had a wonderful lady on, Cheyenne Helm, who told us about her daughter, Brighton, who had unfortunately died from fentanyl poisoning. She was an amazing human being. I've already put her in touch with Jason Shepard. She's talked to Jason through text, and they're going to meet, I believe, tomorrow with a phone call. And this is going to be a beautiful relationship between the two of them because he has the fentanyl test, which he obviously cares so much about. Go over to wimkin.com. You can learn all about it. It's a great, great social media platform. And it's all the best of all the platforms put together. And it is amazing. I want to let you know an update. We've already given her $350 and another $275 is coming. So I think that's what it was. Yeah. So whatever 350 and 275 is, 205 is 675. So $675 is what we raised. We matched, we grossed up her taxes and are sending that to her as well. Her PayPal was on hold for a couple days. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that once that clears, she's good. But we've been in communication with her. I'm always very responsible with the money that we get in from you to tell you where it goes and how we ensure that it's taken care of, whether it was Damani or when we donated money for hurricane victims or whatever it would be. This is what we do. So I wanted to let you know she's an amazing person. Her and Olivia have become fast friends, and she had an amazing time on the show. And we really appreciated her. So I just want to let you know how much we raised for her and what we gave her. I think it was $575, $675. It doesn't matter. But in the end of the day, it's $350 and $275 is what we're giving her. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It doesn't matter. Olivia will tell me if I'm wrong, but she got money, and that's all that's important. And hopefully she can get another billboard up and continue her efforts. And that's not going to be the only thing. When her book comes out, we're going to have her back. We want to sell her book. We want to help her out, and she is amazing. This chat screen is just Rumble. I'm giving some Rumble love to my Rumble peeps because I found a way to do it. And when I'm solo, I'm going to make sure I can see Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube over here on this side. And I can now see Rumble, and I got to get Wimkin up too. So there you go. All right. So let's go ahead and watch this video. This one's kind of a good one. This is a kind of a play on an American spelling bee. And the word woman comes up. 625. Thanks. My math is shit right now. Without Olivia, I'm lost. Here is the video. This is just a good humor one. It's kind of funny. Enjoy this. Yeah, here it is.
Your word is woman.
Woman. Can I have the definition, please?
No.
Why not?
The thing is, a woman is a woman is
So what she's trying to say is person gets to define for themselves what a woman is.
So can you define it?
No.
Why? I just want to know the definition of woman.
And that makes you a hateful little bigot, Lincoln.
I don't hate anybody.
Listen, you intolerant little bigot, just spell the word so we can get a girl up here to win this whole thing.
The definition of woman is woman.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's a simple word. We all know what a woman is. Just spell woman.
Woman. W-O-M-A-N. Woman.
Wrong! It's got an X in it now for some reason. W-O-M-X-N. Now get out of here! Your word.
Not too far off, man. Woke ideology. We've got T.S. Dixon coming on the show. He's done a book in regards to wokeism. It's on Amazon, and you got to do it. We're going to have a signed copy here shortly, and I'm going to read it, and we'll have Mr. Dixon on. We've also got Ryan Weaver coming in July. We've got Damani Felder. We've got a special guest, an A-lister, someone who I will not leak the name, who will be here for our 5-hour show. It's going to be on the May 16th? Friday 16th, whatever that Friday is, right around there. It's going to be from 6 to 11, and we are going for our $20,000 fundraising event. I know, it's crazy, but one of our loyal viewers, Chuck Pedersen, has said that he's going to match up to $10,000, and we are going to build a new studio. And we love where we're at. We love this little room. It's great, but we have a great room right over there, 5-6 feet away. That's like 30 feet long, and it would make a perfect studio. We're going to bring a drywaller in. We're going to make a sound room. We're going to build 4 separate sets, table, lighting, wire it, everything. I mean, 100% top to bottom. And we're going to make our own studio. We're going to, very much like the Tim Pool podcast, have that place where people can come in and visit and have some conversations. And we want to kind of crack the bottle. And when we do that and break the ceremonial champagne, I'm going to try to have Ollie North here. And I'm going to tell him what we're going to do, and we're going to document this. So it's going to be a big night, and it's going to take a lot of people to help. You know, you guys are amazing at those $10 donations. And we were thinking about even if it'd take 100 people giving $100, that's a lot. So we don't know. We don't know if we're gonna be able to do it, but we're putting ourselves out there, and we believe that we can do it. And you have to consider it like this. It's an investment in the show, and we're going big on it. So we hope you guys enjoy it, because we're working our butts off to make this a great show. There was a helicopter crash. I'm not going to show it. It's too much. It's in the middle of the day. It sucks. In New Jersey, it looks like a HELO lost its blades. You can see it. It goes dead stick. It honestly looks like some sort of engine seizure, where it just froze up and for some reason stopped rotating. It's horrible. And all 6 people lost their life. I'm not going to show it. I just don't want to. But what I do want to show you is something. There's people who are trolling. I know who it is. How do you think you know who it is? Who's Real American OG, Liv? Do we know who Real American OG is? Tell me your real name, and I'll tell you if you know. The person who is going to be here is going to be on the web, and there's a reason why. This person's very busy. Oh, is that Jane? It's okay. You can troll. It's fine. I love it. They're busy, and they are. This is a person who is very busy, and you'll understand when they get here. They have a very, very busy life. Do you let special guest name slip a minute ago, Ollie? No. I want Ollie North here when we break champagne and we do the new show. Like, I want him to be our first guest. And it's not going to be hard for me to get a hold of Ollie North. He literally lives right over there. I mean, I could throw a rock. I'm not kidding. I could throw a rock at his house. I just haven't had a space that I feel comfortable bringing him to. But I can bring him there, and we'll have a separate entryway, and We can close off the doors, keep it quiet, and have a really, smoke a cigar if we want to, or drink a whiskey and just talk. That's my goal. And we are going to make this a very, very, my name is Kirsty. I found the real image to the silhouette. Good for you. Good for you. I knew someone was going to do it. I figured someone was going to screen cap it and do a reverse image search. Very smart on you, Kirsty. So I won't confirm, but I would appreciate if you keep it a secret. Good for you. And thanks for not saying something. That's pretty cool. I always appreciate smart people. I love that. And I knew somebody was going to get clever because this, but you know what? It's cool. I want people to be surprised. Is it President Trump? The answer is no. I can tell you it's not Trump. Kirsty, right? Did I get it right, Kirsty, or did I say Christy? Kirsty, like Kirstie Alley, right? Okay. Anyway, so there's something that I wanted to show you guys. So that was it. I want to get Ollie North, and there's a person who knows him very well here. There's several people I know. He eats at the restaurant that we go to all the time, and I just would like to approach him and have a conversation. Well, thanks. That's very big of you. It's Jimmy Hoffa, Uncle Stumpy. Damn it, Jimmy. All right. So here is a video that I didn't think I would show you. In the history of history, consumer prices don't drop. Now, they dropped during COVID. We understand why. They drop during certain times when demand is high. But overall market dropping in any way, shape, or form is crazy. And it's a crazy good sign. You and Trump would be freaking epic. I would love to interview Donald Trump. That's a ways away. I'm just gonna keep interviewing, right? And this one during our event is gonna be big. And Ollie North would be me, like tie and suit. I'm just letting you know. Ollie North walks into my house, I'm in a suit and tie. I'm just telling you. That's like if Donald Trump walks in the house, I'm in a suit and tie. And people like, be yourself. That is myself. I'm not going to be around somebody like that and not be in a suit and tie. But that's my goal. I want Ollie North, and I want to sit in with him. I'm in a chair, and I'm in a chair. We got our mics, and we're sitting down. I got a whiskey and a cigar, and we're having a conversation. That's what I want. Okay, so I want to show you this because this, first of all, it's great to see CNN completely just backpedal and have to eat this crow. But this is unheard of. Inflation, prices don't go down. It just doesn't happen. And here you have a video.
Consumer prices
showing something and saying something completely different. Here it is.
Month over month. So this was actually a drop of 0.1%, negative 0.1%. That's the first time we've seen that since COVID. Year over year, the annual inflation rate was at 2.4%. This was also better than expected and a 6-month low, moving in the right direction. As far as why this happened, there's a few drivers. One thing that really played a role here, as you can see the trend here, the inflation rate dipping a little bit. One of the drivers was energy. The fact that gasoline prices did not move up like they usually do in the month of March, that really helped the inflation. Consumer prices month over month. So this was...
Wow. So let me get this straight. When all you morons over at CNN said that Trump's plan for creating cheap energy, what the... Come on, thing. Never again am I putting this chat up. Ever. I am. I'm just going to have to build another window. See, because it takes over my window. I know how to fix it. Anyway, the fact that CNN says that, and they wrote on that Donald Trump lowering energy costs isn't going to fix inflation. Oh, really? Because that's exactly what it just did. Now, is it 0.1%? Does it mean anything? No. Just like most inflation at 0.4, 0.1, which is what it was before Biden, it's just it. It's no big deal. But to show that shows that energy is the key to stabilizing and making sure that we have a prosperous economy. When prices for gas goes up, goods go up. When prices to heat your home or to heat your office, this drives prices up. And then you see that at the grocery store. You see that everywhere. It's not hard to understand. It's not hard to fathom. I don't have... Oh, I do.
We have been out.
So there is another Democrat talking point, which I'm going to destroy, and then I'm going to get off. So once again, if you don't have donations in, get them in, because we are done in about 5 minutes. It's all a farce. You guys remember when Pam Bondi came out and she had and talked about how the leader of MS-13 and Governor Youngkin were here in Virginia. Hi, babe. Go lay down, Sonny. And how they arrested this guy. Well, now they're dropping the charges. And that's the left. See, it was all a show. Here's the video. And I'm going to show it to you real quick, and then we'll go ahead and do final thoughts.
Federal officials, state officials, and local officials all set to bring us the latest details. Let's listen in.
Thank you for being here. We have been out since about 4:30 this morning. The great men and women of law enforcement have been working on this operation for days and days, and probably weeks. Early this morning, one of the top leaders of MS-13 was apprehended. He was the leader for the East Coast, one of the top 3 in the entire country. Right here in Virginia, living half an hour outside of Washington, D.C. He is an illegal alien from El Salvador, and he will not be living in our country much longer. He's in custody this morning. One of the top leaders right here near our nation's capital.
All right, we all remember this. I showed you this on the show. And the interesting point is everyone is flipping out over this and saying, see, it's all an act. The Krasenstein brothers, the douche plows, are saying, oh, it's... Oh, somebody said, what did I say? I said, final thoughts. I don't know. What do you think I said? So everyone's thinking that, this is a lie and this person, MS-13, is in a gang. It's really simple, folks. If you put criminal charges against this guy and you want to deport them, you then surrender them to doing the criminal charges before the deportation process. So it's a waste of time to do the deportation process. So the AG dropped the charges and claimed lack of evidence to move right to deportation and get this person out of our country. Who cares? And the result is still the same. She needs to focus on getting off Fox News, deporting as many people as possible, holding people accountable for fraud, holding people accountable for interference, get people on embezzlement, get them on campaign finance, start laying the law down and start cleaning up Washington. I'm sick and tired of it. But once again, the left is just doing what the left are doing, and that is just typical. Folks, we had a whole bunch of people on 144 likes. Right, and now there's no court costs, right? So you save the taxpayers' money. It doesn't, just get them out of our country. Don't listen to the liberals. Let them bitch. Let them cry. Let them whine. Just ship them out of here. The courts have given you the proper incentive to do this the way it needs to be done. If you're illegal, get them out. That's it. Get them out of here. Well, that's not a real crime. Yes, it is. Well, it's a misdemeanor. No, it's not. They're not an American citizen. You don't live here. You have no right to be in our country. Get the fuck out. As far as I'm concerned, unless you're naturalized, Every one of them should be out of here. That's it. That's my feeling and take. Folks, if you've not been over to thedumbshow.com, go over to thedumbshow.com and thedumbnews.com. You can follow us. We have articles up there. We've been doing a lot of videos, and I need to continue my articles. I'm going to start doing, 3 or 4 videos, maybe 5 a week, and then we're going to do the news as well. I want to thank everybody who's had a chance to donate. I do really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything. Can we send the Democrats out of the country too? Well, since they're all illegals, I guess yes. No, you can't send them out. Who are we going to laugh at if we can't do that? Thank you, everyone, for donating. Please go buy some coffee, some shirts, whatever you want over at the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We've got some great stuff over there. 5-star rated show, 5-star rated store. It is amazing. Trust me when I say this. There's people are not unhappy with our stuff. Bobby, I hope you got your package. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everyone who ordered this week got everything that they needed. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. Tomorrow we'll be on. Ash is getting surgery. I'm going to tell you how she is, a little puppy who is right here by my side. Can I turn that on? I don't think I can turn it on. Hold on. No, I turned the continuity camera off. Anyway, she's right down here, and she's sleeping. But Red Friday tomorrow, be here, 7 o'clock. It'll be myself and Olivia, and we've got a whole bunch of great news coming. So please make sure you watch and give us all of that. Glenn, good to see you here. Love it, Matt. Thank you so much. You're welcome, man. Have a great night, Matt. I will have a great night. Want to thank my Rumble peeps. Yeah, I'm praying for it too. Just, listen, I know it's so rare for something to happen, but I lost a kitten when I was fresh out of the military. Her name was Chloe, and she looked a lot like Yenny, and she was physically abused by a farmer, and he kicked her in the chest, and it broke her rib cage. And she had a bruise on her heart. And when we put her in to be spayed, she didn't wake up. And that messed me up, man. So I always worry. And this dog and I, man, we go everywhere together. You can see a little bit of her right there. You can see her backside. Do you see her black and white like a cow? Yeah, she's right there. So if I move this, we might really be able to see her. Let's see. Nope. Just the reflection. No, that's a flag. It looked like her. It was too low. If I lower the desk. Nope. Just trust me when I say that she's sitting here sleeping. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 o'clock, bright or not bright and early. Whatever. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll have a new video tomorrow. We'll have new articles tomorrow. I'll see you guys. Thanks for a great night. Thanks for taking care of us. God bless. Take care of each other. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.